In today's video, I build a model railroad for my son. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Matt. What's your name? Say it out loud.
Ben.
That's Ben. And I'm back and we have, what do we have here, Ben?
My train model.
That's right, Ben's train set, Ben's train table. I have been busy building a train table for Ben, and it's pretty exciting. This has been a few weeks in the making, few months in the making, actually. If you're familiar with my channel, last year about this time, I picked up the Menards train set and did a review, and kind of just fell in love with O Gauge at that point. It's been a size of model railroading that has been interesting to me for a long time. But picking it up and having it in my hands and playing with it, I really kind of fell in love with it. And Ben fell in love with it too, didn't you? Ben really likes O Gauge trains a lot as well. So the only problem with that set was, and the track and everything, was like getting it out, put it on the floor, it gets in the way. It doesn't stay together very well on carpet. We kind of felt like, man, if we had this on a train table, this would work out so much better. So what are we going to have on this model railroad, Ben?
My train set.
And what else are we going to have?
My tunnel.
A tunnel.
And my bridge.
2 bridges. And a bunch of other stuff. Buildings and everything else that Ben wants on this. This is going to be a lot of fun. What's your favorite part so far?
The trains.
The trains. Let's take a look right now at the track plan. We'll kind of go from there. All right, let's take a moment real quick and talk about track plans for this model railroad. This is a pretty simple, straightforward, tabletop style layout. What I really wanted to do with this was to have 2 loops, so you can have a couple of trains kind of going at once on the layout, doing big circles. And then I wanted to have some interesting operational opportunities, maybe swapping some cars around or dropping some cars off in a yard, that kind of situation. So you see that there in the middle. And then you have a bit of a crossover so we can reverse directions in the middle of the table. On the far right, we will have either a pair of tunnels or a tunnel and a cut through, kind of a mountain feature. And we have a small lake with a couple of bridges. On the right side will be probably like a city scene. This is going to be kind of something that, my son will probably be decorating himself and figuring out what he wants to do with all that. Once he kind of gets to the point where, that kind of thing starts to become more important to him than just watching trains run. All right, I'm going handheld here to show you kind of what I've done with these tables. This is what's I think is called a box frame construction. Essentially, you're creating several large boxes which you'll be putting plywood sheets on top of to secure everything down. And it's a pretty simple, straightforward process. This overall table size is 12 feet by 5 feet, and it sits in this little kind of nook in my basement here. I have an added complication with this in that this is actually 4 separate modules that are kind of created separately. So 4 separate boxes, if you will, that are then attached together just by screws right now. And the purpose of that is so that potentially this could be disassembled and reconfigured into a different shape should in the future, Ben want to do something like that. Maybe, if you want to do an extension or if you want to just be able to take everything out of the basement. I will be adding some additional kind of bracing in between here, and that'll be the next step I'm going to do after I'm done filming this, just to give some more surface area for the plywood to be screwed into, just to help kind of help it to maintain its shape. I'm also going to add some additional cross bracing on these center legs. These legs are made out of 2x2 pieces of select pine. I did add wheels to everything with the intention that maybe I can, if it's not being used or we need to make more space, we can wheel it up against the wall that way. or wheel it out into the middle of the room a little bit further. Should we need to? I don't know that the wheels were necessary. I did offset the feet in a foot on the long sides and 2 feet on the far side there. One, to make room for the where the control stand is going to kind of be able to roll in and out from underneath there. But two, to also give it an edge so you're not actually like bumping your feet on table legs, you know, while you're just kind of walking around like normal. What else? I guess next steps would be just to add more cross bracing, like I mentioned, and then to apply the plywood tabletop surface on top of that. This area here will be kind of a big lake area, so most of the construction for that is going to happen in a separate video. Okay, we're going to fast forward 2.5 months after I started working on this layout, so you can see what it looks like today. And today it is a hot mess. I don't want to clean this up and make this look nice and pretty for you all. I wanted to show you the realities of what it's like having a layout that you've built for a 5-year-old. And the truth is, it's in bad shape. Part of the reason why is because he comes down here and like a tornado kind of tears everything apart and then leaves. The other part of it is that I haven't. It's partially my fault. It's a lot my fault because I have not actually built the final sort of track. I haven't laid all the track and done all the wiring on this layout yet. And the reason for that is, well, frankly, like I'm sort of stuck. I'm kind of confused, and I need your help as a community. Help set me right, because as far as powering this layout, I don't know what to do. Right now the layout is being powered by kind of the traditional wall wart, the thing you plug into the wall. And that's fine for a single layout, for a single loop of track and a single locomotive. My goals for this layout are to be able to have 2 locomotives running at once. I want to be able to have like post-war traditional locomotives and the modern legacy and Lion Chief, you know, Bluetooth powered locomotives running at the same time. Truth is, I don't have any post-war locomotives yet. I don't know if and when I'm going to be getting any of those. So, you know, to keep things simple, probably just powering this in a way to run modern locomotives is going to be best at this point. Let me show you what I've got. All right, so a year ago I bought this. This is a KW transformer. It is, you know, post-war. It's refurbished. It's beautiful. It's in great shape. I love it. I had this great idea that I was going to run this layout with this thing, and the idea of like having the new and the modern and the old together working in tandem was going to be kind of a great thing. I don't think this is best for this layout at this point, simply because of my son. He will come down here. He'll turn on the power. He'll run the train loops a couple times, and then he'll just leave everything powered on. And I don't want to leave this thing on for several hours with people sort of like walked away from it. So I think this was a great kind of thought. I don't feel comfortable enough that he's not going to like burn down the house with this thing. So we're going to save that for maybe down the road. What I did end up doing was I bought this. This is a PH1 powerhouse, with the idea that like this is going to supply enough power to be able to power 2 locomotives on this layout, doing what I want it to do, and have all the switches powered and everything. But it turns out this thing's got this plug here. It's supposed to plug into something else, which is probably another, you know, big financial purchase. And do I buy the thing that this thing's supposed to work with in order to power the layout? Do I buy a cab 3 at this point? I don't want to spend the money on a cab 3, especially since my son is not playing with this as much as I would like him to. He's not as interested in. Now, granted, this thing is just a loop of track at this point, and if I had everything wired up and all the track played and everything working, and it was a more interesting track plan to like run trains around on, he'd probably end up using it more than he's doing right now. Maybe he's just a little too young for it right now. I don't know. You know, worst case scenario, the train thing doesn't really bite him all that hard, and I've got myself a really cool 3-rail layout. But anyways, I need your help as a community. Like, what do I do to power this thing at this point? Because I want to get this up and running for him so he can start to have fun. I've got a lot of work to do. I've got questions I need answered. I need your help, guys. I need help. All right, gang. Thanks for sticking around with me on this one. We got a ways to go. It's going to take a little while, but it's going to be a lot of fun along the way, right, Ben?
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun building this and getting it together and getting more videos out for everyone else to check out here. So thank you for stopping by my channel. Hopefully you like what you see. If you have any questions at all about O Gauge trains, I've learned quite a bit over the last few weeks.
Yep.
As I've started to acquire everything that I needed to build this
See
table.
my channel, subscribe.
That's right. So thank you all for stopping by, and we'll see you in another video.